Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Deiser. I'm here with my Dami Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good, but I just found a dog hair in my tea.
No. Darn it. What are you going to do?
I'm just going to fish it out.
You're just going to fish it out. Nice. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What type of tea do you have?
I don't know what this is. It's an organic white tea of some sort. It's from David's Tea.
You're still waiting on your David's Tea order.
Right.
Okay.
So I was off David's Tea for a few years because I was really not into all the added sugar, dairy additives that were going on with the teas. But then I found out that, first of all, they brought in a whole bunch of organic teas that don't have any additives. And on the website now you can search, gluten-free, kosher, no dairy,
nice,
no sugar and just organic, or low caffeine. Like, the search is so easy now.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there's so many options. So I ended up spending $1 million.
Whatever.
So, but
when tea is your happiness.
Right. I mean,
Does tea make you happy?
I don't think tea makes me happy. I really enjoy the ceremony that we have every morning. I use ceremony loosely. What, maybe tradition?
Yeah.
I don't
know.
Routine, yeah.
I think it's an important part of the day, really.
Oh, it sets up our day, don't you think?
Oh yeah, major. I mean, it was so funny because it's really important to us. And we were listening to Larry David once. You remember this? And he was talking about how someone quit coffee. Was it him or his wife?
I think it was him.
It was him. And he said that's what ruined his marriage.
That's what caused his divorce.
That's what caused his divorce.
Because even though he would sit down and have tea with her while she had coffee, she knew that it wasn't tea in his cup, or wasn't coffee in his cup,
coffee, yeah.
And it wasn't the same. So when I quit coffee a few years ago, David's like, I hope that our marriage can make it.
This is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, the beginning
according to Larry David. Yeah, she didn't get the same vibe when he was on tea.
Yeah,
my
sister agrees with that theory.
Does she?
Yeah, she does.
That's funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on the same topic, today we're going to start with happiness. I love talking about happiness. Huh? You're indifferent? Well, the reason we're talking about happiness today is because the media is reporting about the happiest man alive.
Well, how is this judged?
Now, this is... He disagrees with the title, but the media is giving it to him, and it's being reported on Business Insider this morning. It's this 69-year-old monk named Matthieu Ricard.
Okay.
If you Google who is the happiest man in the world, that's who comes up.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
69-year-old Tibetan Buddhist monk, originally from France. He's been participating in a 12-year brain study on meditation and compassion, led by the University of Wisconsin. And he does these meditations with these sensors hooked up to his skull. And the findings from the study are amazing with this man, yes. The scan shows that when meditating on compassion, Ricard's brain produces a level of gamma waves, those linked to consciousness, attention, learning, and memory, never reported before in the neuroscience literature.
Oh, wow.
The scans also showed excessive activity in his brain's left prefrontal cortex compared to his right counterpart, allowing him an abnormally large capacity for happiness and a reduced propensity towards negativity. Wow,
that is so neat.
It's really, really cool. So obvious, and he says you can't call me the happiest man in the world, all these things, because he's just a monk. This is what they do. They meditate all day long. He said he can meditate and not get bored all day. That's part of his life.
Wow.
He's been doing it for a long time. Now he gives a tip on how to be happier.
Okay.
So he thinks everyone can be like him, and And I would agree.
Okay.
And so he goes, in what he's telling the media is you have to train for happiness like you train for a marathon. There is no difference. And we've talked about this 3 or 4 times now on the show because we're very passionate about it.
Right, because I know it to be true.
Yeah. So his recommendation is when you're just starting out, you don't have to call it meditation, you don't have to call it spirituality, you don't have to call it anything. All you have to do is continually focus on things that make you happy and make you feel good for 15 minutes a day.
Louise Hay.
Exactly the same.
And she's been, you know, we've been in conversations before where people have minimized her.
Yes.
Because they say it's too simple.
Here's a Buddhist monk who's been doing it for, I think,
that is
50
on
years.
record for having, set these records.
Yeah, for brain capacity in the literature. There's nothing in the literature that has shown...
He knows something.
Yeah, definitely. He has been able to, like, if you compare him to a marathon runner, and you look at the stats, you say, okay, this person's brain is the most optimal for happiness.
It's so true. It's like anything in life. For whatever reason, we, have come to a place where we can now comprehend that if you want to have, better muscle tone, you have to lift weights. And if you consistently lift weights, you don't get to a place where you stop lifting weights. Once you get through the muscles, you forever lift weights. And you continually do that, and you maintain or grow and whatever your muscle tone, and we understand that.
Yes.
But for some reason, we haven't moved into the brain training yet, which is the key to happiness. I remember when I was younger, I used to think that people were just lucky.
Right.
And, good lives were reserved for the special people that were, born into money, that were born naturally happy, that had, really peaceful homes and, naturally made friends and all those, quote-unquote magical things that happen to these special people.
Yes.
Now, we're all dealt different hands of cards, right, in life. But the reality is we can drastically change our experience through brain training.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be hard.
No.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to study how to do it, any of those things. Happiness, motivation, health, even having a good night's sleep, enjoying a workout routine, eating healthy, all those things can be created. And the reason I know it for a fact is because I've done it myself.
Exactly.
And it's been cultivated. And it's been made and created.
Well, it's so funny you talk about making this equivalent to weightlifting, because a good way to do it is to use his words in him saying that in the article he's stating that most people, when they have happy thoughts, they think of something great or they feel something really good, and then they're distracted almost instantly with something else in their life, and that thought is never held. So you could equate that to picking up a weight and doing 1 rep and then moving on. You're never going to build that muscle.
Well, and I remember when I was switching out of fearful thinking, I remember something that really started to come up for me is when things in my life were going well, so when things were going good, I would almost try to be like, oh no, well the other shoe's going to drop. So I would try to get to that thought and find it. Something bad's got to happen because things are good.
Right.
What is it going to be?
It's just the ego trying to keep you on
sneakiest,
your toes from
right, and
fear.
you have to untrain, because that's how I won't say I was raised or conditioned, but that's
societal. It's societal.
Yeah, that if something good, it's going to be followed by something bad.
I believe the culture that we were surrounded by growing up was also perpetuated that.
Well, I mean, we grew up in a very small community, so it's a microcosm of reality. So the fact that
a microcosm of disease.
Well, the reality is that's what I'm going to get to is that everybody. So everything everybody's going through. Yes. So everybody that's died, everybody that's been born, everybody that's been diagnosed with cancer, everyone that's getting a divorce, and the reality of that is bad news travels more frequently than good.
Definitely. So
it felt like a lot of times in our community, everyone was getting diagnosed with cancer during this, the long winter of whatever. Or, gosh, everybody's getting divorced right now. Or, oh, wow, everybody's losing their jobs. Because when a factory shut down, we knew everybody that worked there.
And as a child, these things are just coming in and in and in.
Right. So it's a microcosm. So now we live in a large city. You know, the same amount of things are going on, but we don't know everybody's intimate details like we used to. You know, and so it's different. So you're kind of,
there's pros and cons to it, but on the cons or on the pro side, you're not bombarded. You're allowed. You're in your own zone, and you can think the way you'd like to think without the distractions. But even if you're in a small town, this is still possible.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like, I mean, I think
it's going to take work though.
Definitely.
A little bit, absolutely.
And especially, you know, the way we were raised, where everybody's family's still there.
Yeah.
So everybody's, you know, talking about so and so that has so and so going on, and you know, it's really easy to get drawn into drama on a daily basis.
Yes, it is.
Really, really easy. Where, you know, if you can, you know, shut yourself off from that type of thing, like, it is easier to...
Definitely. So with 15 minutes a day, now the neuroscientist actually who is doing the scans published a study about 20 minutes a day of this type of meditation, just straight positive thinking, because it statistically showed significance for happiness. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that this person stated. I mean, just I think the training metaphor really is...
Yeah, I think it's so important because, like I said, it's really easy to trick yourself into thinking that, you know, certain people are happy because they're special. You know, that's something that I always try to tell all my members and all my clients all the time. You know, anything that I've, you know, achieved, which I don't think that I'm, like, standing on a mountaintop of achievement. I have so much more that I want to do in my life. But, you know, what I have done, I'm not special. Like, everybody's special or nobody's special.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I believe in that as well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's you know, nothing... I decided and created 90% of what's going on in my life.
Absolutely.
So if there's anything good that you think is going on or attractive...
It started with one thought.
It started with a thought.
And then now you're seeing it.
And then it took work.
Yes.
And commitment, and you've seen it. You know, I've been really committed to this path since 2007. You know, and I mean, and everything's great. My business is great, and our marriage is great, and, you know, losing weight is awesome, and being healthy is awesome. But the number one thing that I have to say that is the thing that I wish everybody could obtain is just, I used to be so anxious.
That's exactly. I knew you were going to say that. And
I used to be so scared. And I used to be so full of worry, and I used to have so much self-hate, and I used to have so much just anger towards the world and jealousy, and to just try to put that into verbal terms of how that's gone. I mean, it makes me so emotional because, you know, like, these outside things shift, and, like, it's really neat and tangible to see, and it's beautiful and wonderful, but, like, if I could just put into words the freedom that you could create in your life. I mean, I was miserable, you know, for years.
Definitely.
And I changed it by working on it. I mean, it's a miracle.
Well, I've been there to see the shift. So it's been huge and transformational for me as well. I mean, when we first began dating, I thought spirituality was a hoax.
Yeah.
I had a zero belief system. I considered myself a realist / atheist / whatever. And it wasn't until, because I was also obsessed with achievement.
Right.
And that was my window into spirituality and into this work, because I saw what you were doing. And I saw how it changed your life, and I saw how it basically helped contribute to vanishing that anxiety in such a quick, seemingly for me, because I was only in it for that first little while, or which was the end for you. Yeah. How effective it was.
It's unbelievable.
And so I jumped right in. Right in. But yeah, I mean, I've been there the entire way for the second half of your journey, and my gosh, I mean, it's powerful.
I used to be physically uncomfortable in my body. To explain the level of just, you know, self-disgust that I had. It's really hard to put into words. I was uncomfortable in my body. I didn't want to be who I was. Yeah,
that was sad.
It's tragic.
There's a lot of people out there who are dealing with that.
I mean, I can't imagine that I was alone in that. No. So, you know, one of my main messages that I just want to, you know, continue to just tell everybody if they want to hear it, is, transformation is possible. On like a cellular level. Like the vibe that I have right now sitting here as a human is completely different than the vibe if you had met me 10 years ago.
Yes, and that, oh my gosh, the topic of change, the topic of this mental capacity to change who you are, inside, and when you become more centered, you actually change. Like things shift.
100%.
It's possible, and I try and teach that to my patients all the time.
Well, it's funny because one of the last times we went back to the East Coast, a woman that knew me before, she used to come to my salon/spa. It was like a mini spa. I call it a spa because the vibe was a spa, but really it was just me working as an esthetician. She was a client of mine, so like from 2002, we'll say, to 2006.
Yeah.
I was talking to her and she just was like, "You're just so peaceful." Like
That's a huge compliment.
I could see in her, she's just like, "What's going on? You're just so peaceful.
Give me some of this."
Like you're just so relaxed. And I could feel back from her like, oh yeah, she hasn't really been around me since my life has, changed.
Yeah,
so for her it was dramatic because she hadn't seen me through the years.
But
she just
sure.
thought
you
from
see that,
when I left
change,
to, so I thought that was interesting.
And the things you go through.
Yeah.
There's one more thing about this man who I'd like to bring up that he states. So his idea for making these changes for happiness is the meditation, but he attributes a lot of where he is in his personal life to the thinking about others and giving to others and doing for others.
100%.
And he even makes the statement in here, which is something we talk about all the time, which is to not be walked upon, to not be taken advantage of, but to still be contributing in a positive way where you still hold up your
100%.
Your barrier or your boundaries. Healthy boundaries, but you focus on giving and you don't focus on yourself.
100%. That's something that you and I really worked on the last few years, is setting up healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries is huge, and then we've both chosen careers where what we do during the day is give to others.
Definitely.
And it's so rewarding. I mean, it can shift the tone of how you're feeling just on its own when you get an email from someone who's doing extremely well. I mean, how does that feel? Like, what does that do for you as well? And when I see a patient who's getting better, and I say every day when you ask me how my day was, it's like, oh, well, people are getting better. That's all I remember from the day.
Yeah.
People are getting better.
Yeah.
And to be contributing in that way, and you don't have to be a physician or a nutritionist to be able to do this.
No.
You just contributing to your family, doing something nice for someone, thinking positive thoughts about someone is something that I know you do a lot of praying for people.
Every morning I pray for everybody in my family. First I pray for you. Not that there should be a hierarchy, but I do. I see you.
Why, thank you. I love being number one. Number one is my favorite position.
I see you having a great day. I see you whole. I see you happy. I see you healthy. I see you working through, intelligence, and I see you healing people, and then I see your workspace, a happy, healthy, healing environment, and then I see the people you work with happy, healthy, and healed. And then I do the same with everybody on the program. I kind of picture everybody globally, and I just see I send everybody light, and I see them happy and excited, and I see them, peaceful and reaching their goals, and, in deep peace, and I do that for my family, and, sometimes situations that come up in the news or whatever, and I try to ground, that's how I try to ground my day.
Right.
Just...
And the changes that you can have in your brain just from doing that, having compassion, and just praying for people is having compassion.
I think
it's huge.
I think praying for people is so powerful, and I just think it's so powerful. I really do, and I am someone that was prayed for,
right,
and that just touches my heart beyond. It's something that
tell.
It feels like a blanket, like it just. So to be able to do that for other people.
Well, I mean, sometimes you need to tell people, too, that you're praying for them.
I don't do that.
I know, but, like, you've told me before that I pray for you in the morning, and...
Yeah, I'm trying to give you a hint. Maybe you could send a word for me, too.
Well, we're not in some, but when you told me that you prayed for me, what that does is it's like that warm blanket. It's like that physical feeling. And sometimes I think it's important. Like, for example, we've also been told before that our nephews pray for us before bed.
Oh, I know.
And how does that make you feel? What do you think of that?
I can't even.
When you hear the stories about what they have said to their mother
mm-hmm.
about us
mm-hmm.
while they're praying, I mean, that's enough there to keep you going for weeks on a happiness level.
You can run on those fumes.
You definitely can.
Yeah.
You definitely can. So I think there's immense value in telling people sometimes.
Definitely. But
mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer in doing things for people without ever talking about it. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing as much as I can for people, and then I like not talking about it. Like, I'm always up to something.
Yes.
You know, and I really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the greatest spiritual practices you can participate in. You know, even if you don't have money, you don't have to donate, or, you know, if you do have a little bit of money, just giving some money to someone that is in need, or, you know, providing a meal for somebody that's in need. And if you can't do that, maybe just writing a note for somebody and leaving it somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you've done that before as well.
I'm always up to stuff.
Always up to something.
But, you know, in our work, like, there's the healthy thing of setting boundaries, but sometimes you and I both, you know, we'll do extra things for people, and then we don't really talk about it or expect whatever.
No,
but,
sure.
when you're called to help,
mm-hmm.
you know, I just think that we're all here to globally kind of help each other out.
Right.
So if you're in a position where you can do something for somebody,
mm-hmm.
why not?
Well, and it's helpful to have these conversations. Like, we've had a very similar conversation as this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful to have these conversations because we're not living in la la land here. Like, our life is not perfect.
Oh my gosh, no.
We go through a lot of things, but we have these discussions and we try to use these tools as much as we possibly can because we've been through so much.
Right.
And we've found benefit in them.
Definitely.
So I think it's really cool and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's happiness. I mean, I don't think we need to get into very many more stories today. I think that's probably good. So basically what we got from this is you don't have to sit down and meditate. You can just think positive thoughts for a continuous stream for a long time. Like, you'll do it in your prayers. You'll give prayers for people. That's positive thoughts. I'll do it on the walk to work, praying for people.
And you don't have to attach prayer to it. If prayer brings up...
That's just, it's a word we use.
If prayer brings up, you know, when I first started on my spiritual path, you know, prayer brought up those religious ties for me, and
mm-hmm.
I was uncomfortable with it. If prayer comes up for you as, you know, and you're uncomfortable with that, don't think of it as that. Just think of positively thinking of other people, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
that's
that
all
type of thing.
Yeah.
And if you can't kind of get focused with meditation or even get to that place, you know, you can journal.
Mm-hmm.
Even nice things about yourself or other people. I use that tool sometimes when I'm trying to focus, when I can't steady my brain.
Yes.
I'll journal the nice thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, if you can't, if you're finding difficulty setting a good tone first thing in the morning, buying a book that gives you, you know, just a paragraph that sets your tone for the day is game changing.
Definitely.
One that I really like, and it's simple and it's a great start, is I want to say it's by Marianne Williamson, and it's something along the lines of 365 Days of Miracles or something.
Is it a year of miracles?
A Year of Miracles. That's it.
A Year of Miracles by Marianne.
Actually, and I think she has a sale on it right now.
Oh, nice.
We'll try to figure that out and link it. But it's just you just read a paragraph every morning. You know, it's just set, and it's something to think about during the day, or just set your tone for the day, and it can be transformational.
Definitely.
I love
great
love
tool,
that book.
For sure. You don't have to think. You just read it and,
right.
and you do it. Yeah.
Right. And then it seeps in.
Exactly.
During the day, and it will shift things for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent. That's Healthy Rebel Radio, episode 17. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at damihealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.